Hello, everyone. Welcome to another ShareWise webinar. I am Caitlin Chung, your host today, and I am joined by Stephen Stone, the Managing Director of Castle Minerals. Thank you so much, Stephen, for taking your time out today to speak to me.
Hi, Caitlin.
So today, Stephen and I are going to do a quick discussion on Castle Minerals. So for those who are watching and aren't familiar with the company, do you want to just give us a brief overview of what it is you guys do?
Sure. Castle's ASX listed company. Code is CDT. We're based in Perth, and we're focusing at the moment on a flagship graphite project in Ghana, in West Africa. And today's been a big day for us because we've just announced a big upgrade in the resource. So we now have 22 million tonnes of graphite, grading about 8.8%, and that's very high grade in the graphite world. And it contains about 1.94 million tonnes of graphite, which is more than enough we need to have to consider development down the track. So that's the big news today. Now, the other big news today, for those who follow graphite, is that China's just put a ban on exports of graphite. Now, why that's big is because you're all probably seeing a lot of EV vehicles around the streets now. That market is booming. I think there's going to be like another 100 million EVs on the road between now and 2030. And they've all got about 30 to 60 kilograms of graphite in them. And that graphite's actually in the lithium-ion battery, the same sort of battery you have in your phone or your storage for your solar power. And the anode in that battery is made of specially processed graphite, and there's just not enough graphite around in the world to meet what is the forecast demand there's going to be for batteries and electric vehicles. And China's actually supplies about 60 to 70% of natural graphite, and about 98% of the specially processed graphite are used to make batteries. So today, everybody around the world who makes vehicles and batteries, in the EU and USA, if they weren't already in a bit of a panic about where they're going to get their graphite from, they're going to be an even bigger one now. So it's just perfect timing for us to announce this resource upgrade. And our graphite in Ghana, it's not committed to anybody like a lot of production or potential production is. So, we're a free agent, and Ghana, where we're based, is a very stable, safe jurisdiction. It's got a 100-year history of mining, some very big mines there, and it's a great place to operate from. And it's got two ports, international ports, that will easily allow us to ship material to the EU or the USA. So it's a great commodity to be in right now, and it's a great project to have. And just one other thing about graphite, it's really been under the shadow of lithium. Lithium's been getting all the attention. It's had all the sex appeal, and batteries are actually more graphite than they are lithium. And I think this is going to be a big turning point today. I think it's going to come out of the shadow of lithium, and I've seen a number of stocks starting to run now as people start to understand. And Castle's just a small company. It's 10 to 12 million market cap. So there's a lot of upside for us to release from the value that's sort of locked into our company. And there's an enormous amount of value there that's not really reflecting in the market cap right now.
I know lithium has been a buzzword amongst investors for the past few years, hasn't it? But I know that graphite had a big jump in the market today, so that's very good news. I want to ask, where are you supply graphite to which countries primarily?
Well, any country that's looking at producing electric vehicles, and which is really much the USA, the EU, Korea, Vietnam, everybody wants to produce, and India in particular. They've got a big market for 2 and 3 wheel vehicles, and don't underestimate how India is going to grow in that sector. So pretty much all around the world, people are building factories to make EV vehicles, and they're also building these things they call gigafactories, which are the factories where they make the batteries. And there's about 200 already, and there's meant to be a lot more on the drawing boards, and they're very quick to build them. But what they don't realise, I don't think, is how long it takes for people to find, develop and produce graphite from mines. It takes a lot longer to get it all permitted, and then even then you have to get your product accredited so that your battery that you put it in can be charged multiple times and doesn't catch fire. It takes a while. So there's a big disconnect between supply and demand, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next year or two.
And what does the competitive landscape look like right now in both the Australian and international market?
Well, I'm not sure there's competition. I mean, there's room for everybody. There's a few good graphite deposits in Australia. There's some good ones being developed or in Tanzania, Mozambique, Madagascar. There's a lot of graphite around, and I think there's room for all of those existing or proposed options to supply the market. I mean, not every project that's on the drawing board is going to get up and running, but we think, we tick a lot of boxes because of the type of deposit we got, the grade, the jurisdiction we are, the location. It's just got a lot going for it. And the other good thing about everybody today is focused on your ESG credentials and where you're getting your power from. Well, we've got a power line that goes right past where we want to put our mine, and that's fed by hydro power. I mean, Ghana's well down the track to establishing a renewables industry and basically getting a lot of its power from either hydro or solar facilities. So that ticks a big box for us, and for any investors, it's one of the things they really want to know now. What are you doing in the area of ESG?
Yeah, and have you seen a positive correlation between investment in renewables along with increased investment into Castle Minerals specifically?
No, not yet. We're a tiny little company, a small company, and we're not a big company, so we're not really at a size where we're attractive to the big institutional investors. We're more of a retail stock. It's where all the fun is, actually, and it's where you can, if you're an investor, you can make most money. Everybody's looking for 5 or 10 bagger, and when you've got a 10 million market cap, it's really all upside from here. So yeah, it'll just be interesting. I mean, it's all part of what I call the food chain.
Yep.
In the minerals industry. Everybody's got their role, and companies get bigger and smaller, and projects move up and down the food chain. And we're really happy with our Kambale project. And look, I've got a lot of other future metals projects in Australia as well. We're a bit of an incubator. We're good at spotting opportunities. We advance projects to a stage where we've got some drill targets, and we're now really running a campaign to farm those out to other companies to share the technical and the financial burden that comes with those. We know we can't do everything, but we've got other interests in Australia in graphite, in lithium. We're right next to a very big zinc discovery, the Earaheedy deposit, that a company called Rumble have. We've got some gold and lithium in the Pilbara. So there's a lot in Castle. As I keep saying, there's a lot of value compressed into a very small market cap. So my job's to get the genie out of the bottle.
Well, you certainly have today with that amazing announcement. And last question from me today is, what can investors expect for the rest of 2023 and 2024?
Well, look, we're a company that's got a good reputation for a lot of news flow and investment catalysts. I'm actually presenting at a conference on Wednesday in Perth, and I'm going actually over to LA to meet a lot of the car manufacturers and the off-takers. We've got to start engaging with those. But in terms of news flow, we've done a lot of test work. We've just sent our concentrate that we produced in test work to Germany for special analysis to make sure it's all good and okay for use in batteries. I'm pretty sure it is. We're kicking off a scoping or perhaps a pre-feasibility study right now. I've just been meeting today with metallurgical and mining engineers to move that project. So there'll be a series of announcements around that as we progress that. And I suppose the big box that we want to tick is that we want to find a partner, somebody who can help us finance the development of the project in return for guaranteed offtake. It's not a sector where your traditional banks that finance gold projects are involved. You've really got a partner with offtake, a car manufacturer or battery manufacturer. And I've noticed in the last month or two quite a few deals happening. So the people at the bottom end of the supply chain are now talking to people like us. It's quite an interesting space at the moment. So lots of news flow to come from that.
Yes,
and also as we farm out our other projects in Australia, there should be some announcements around that as well.
Okay, well, I'm sure we are all looking forward to that. Thank you so much for joining me today, Stephen. For those of you who have any questions, please feel free to email Sharewise and I can pass them off to Stephen. But thank you so much for joining me and have a great day.
Thank you very much, Caitlin. It's been nice having a chat with you.